She was stabbed, according to media reports, over 40 times. A surprise attack so lethally efficient, authorities say it had to be a hit.
Was Lindsay sexually assaulted? Was her wallet or her purse or cell phone taken?
Yeah, nothing. This was a targeted attack for the sole purpose of killing Lindsay Buziak.
But who would want to kill her?
That's the question. Who would?
And why? At the time, police knew nothing of the couple they now believe carried out the attack or how they were able to slip out of the house undetected. Only who they found when they arrived at the scene. Lindsay's boyfriend, Jason Zalo, and one of his friends.
We locked down that house immediately. Mr. Zalo and his friend were both taken into police custody.
Turns out it was Jason who called police to the house, and at the station, he gives investigators a breakdown of his whereabouts that day. 4:30 p.m., Jason and Lindsay finished a late lunch at a local spot before splitting up, he to meet a friend at a nearby business, and she to get ready for that open house. An hour later, surveillance video shows Jason and his friend leaving their location. Just as it's believed Lindsay is opening the door for her suspected killers. Around that same time, Jason texts, "I'll come meet you and I'll be 10 to 15 minutes or so." Lindsay responds, "Okay, I'll see you in a bit, I gotta go." Her text showed no signs of trouble.
She told Jason, they're here. But at no time did she say anything that would be cause for warning. I'm worried, I'm scared, these people creep me out.
At 5:38, Jason texts, just a couple of minutes away. That text was never opened. Only 3 minutes later, a pocket dial from Lindsay's phone police believe happened during the stabbing.
We're quite confident that at 5:41 is when the attack took place.
Jason tells police he drives up to the house just 4 minutes later at 5:45, and then he tells them that he may have actually seen the murderers. A tall Caucasian man and a blonde woman wearing a colorful dress like this one.
The killers were actually about to walk out the front door and leave, and he turned into the cul-de-sac and interrupted them leaving.
They were that brazen that they were going to walk out the front door.
If he had been 5 seconds later, he would have driven right into the suspects walking out here into the driveway.
Instead, he tells police the couple turned around and closed the door.
And his assumption is these are the clients. And the showing is just starting as the door closes. He then parks outside because he is waiting for the showing to end.
Approximately 20 minutes later, Jason texts Lindsay, "Are you okay?" No answer.
They then go and try the door because they're becoming concerned. And it's at the moment that they realize the front door to the home is locked that he becomes alarmed.
At 6:05 p.m., Jason calls police to express his concern.
Between the police arrival and that first 911 call, Jason and his friend notice a rear French door is ajar on the home.
Then, as seen in this police video recorded at the crime scene shortly after the murder, Jason tells investigators how his friend entered through the back and let him in through the front.
One second he unlocked it, I pushed it open.
Okay.
He was already in front of me.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm running upstairs.
Okay.
And I was yelling, I'm like, Lindsay, Lindsay, Lindsay.
From there, Jason says he ran straight to the master bedroom where he found Lindsay's body and called police again at 6:11 p.m.
So I was running inside the house. I just came running up the stairs.
Do you remember grabbing the banister at all, or?
Down there.
Police say the evidence supports Jason's version of events, but Lindsay's father says he's got some questions.
There are certain things I don't buy there. From me personally. One, I would have gone and checked as soon as I saw somebody dart in and out of a front door. That concerns me. The other thing that's odd to me is supposedly Jason never been in the house. Why would he push the front door open, run up the stairwell right into the master bedroom without stopping?
And that's not all he's saying. Lindsay's dad, who was living over 600 miles away in Calgary at the time, also says his daughter confided in him, saying her relationship with Jason was far from perfect.
She just felt Jason was overbearing and demanding and, jealous, possessive.
So are you saying that things were rocky enough that maybe Lindsay was going to break up with Jason?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she came out to Calgary to speak to me about that.
And that was just 6 weeks before she was killed. We reached out to Jason for an interview. He declined, but Jason did talk to police.
Mr. Zalo and his friend were under intense police scrutiny. However, Mr. Zalo was cooperative with police. He also partook in a polygraph exam, and he passed.
So is Jason at all under suspicion by the police?
Based on forensic evidence, timeline of communications, witness testimony, video surveillance, we know he's not the killer. And was he perhaps somehow involved in the planning? Well, he successfully passed a polygraph, and he successfully took part in all these interviews with us. So at this point in time, he's not considered a suspect.
So then, who is? The one thing both Lindsay's father and police definitely agree on is that this was no random killing.
This sounds like a professional hit, because who can pull this off in less than 10 minutes?
Well, it certainly has the hallmarks of being pre-planned and pre-orchestrated, without a doubt.
And executed, police believe, by those two pretend house hunters who called Lindsay on her personal phone to set the whole thing up.
Were you able to track down the phone and the communication that occurred, and what did that reveal?
Yeah, Lindsay actually wrote down the number.
Unfortunately, the number is attached to a burner phone, purchased with cash nearly 3 months before and registered under a fake name.
The phone was only ever used for one thing, and that was to phone Lindsay Buziak. It's a level of planning that clearly shows that Lindsay Buziak was the target. The issue is was she really the target, or was she just a scapegoat of convenience?
According to one theory, the answer to that may be tied to somewhere Lindsay went the December before her February murder. Remember that visit to Calgary to see her dad? Well, something very big happened there just after Lindsay left.
In January, before her murder, the largest drug bust in Alberta history occurred. And we were talking millions upon millions of dollars value in cocaine.
How does Lindsay figure into this?
The people that lost the drugs know that someone spoke to the police.
Someone ratted them out.
Exactly.
Coming up,
They needed to solve a problem, and she was the solution.
plus,
What would you do if somebody killed one of your children?
how far will one dad go for justice?
These people have to know that they're not going to get away with murdering Lindsay Buziak.